Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Ron W. Satz, founder and chair of the International Society of Unified Science and president of Transpower Corporation, commercial and custom software manufacturing and certified systems engineering company. As usual with my weekly screencast, we'll be discussing the reciprocal system of physical theory versus the conventional theories out there. Two topics today: more dark matter nonsense, and Milky Way is party of a supercluster. Well, I guess part of a supercluster. Okay, so let's begin. As usual, we like to go to ScienceDaily.com for the latest research news. And it says here, a new model for a cosmological enigma, dark matter, solving long-standing and troublesome puzzles. So here's the conventional claim. Astrophysicists believe that about 80% of the substance of our universe is made up of mysterious dark matter that can be perceived by human senses, that cannot be perceived by human senses or scientific instruments. Well, that's nonsense, but let's see if there's anything else worthy of mention here. Medvedev's theory rests on the behavior of elementary particles that have been observed or hypothesized according to today's prevalent standard model theory of particle physics. Elementary particles, categorized as varieties of quarks, leptons, and gauge bosons, are the building blocks of an atom. Properties or flavors of quarks and leptons are prone to change back and forth because they can combine with each other in a phenomenon called flavor mixing. Well, this is a whole bunch of stuff here. Medvedev says included the physics process of quantum evaporation in a cosmological numerical code and formed simulations using supercomputers. Yeah. This is all nonsense, so let's go back. According to the reciprocal system, 50% of the matter of the universe is the ordinary matter of our material sector, and 50% of the matter of the universe is the cosmic or inverse, I didn't say anti, I said inverse matter of the cosmic center, which is the other half. Our sector is localized in space. The cosmic sector is localized in time. The two sectors pass through each other without much contact. Occasionally, we come across a very high-energy cosmic ray particle that is simply a natural resident of the cosmic sector. The cosmic rays come from the cosmic sector and convert to material atoms in our sector everywhere here, including between galaxies. There isn't dark matter between galaxies. There's newly arrived and newly converted material subatoms and atoms, which are non-luminous, of course. Also, the notion that the orbits, so-called orbits of stars in our galaxy, is Keplerian is nonsense. The galaxy is in reality a fluid spiral structure, and so Kepler's laws are inapplicable. And dark matter is not necessary to explain the dynamics. And I had the note here, this is back in 2014, the Reciprocal System Microcosmos database is now available. And of course, the Macrocosmos database is also available. This is 2018. I'm doing this screencast. Okay, well, that was the first topic. Let's go to the second topic. Milky Way, is it really a part of a supercluster? Let's go here. We touched on this last week, but it's worth going over again. Again, this is from Science Daily. Astronomers using the Green Bank telescope, among other telescopes, have determined that our own Milky Way galaxy is part of a newly identified ginormous supercluster of galaxies, which they've dubbed Laniakea, which means immense heaven in Hawaiian. Well, there's not much here, but this is basic nonsense. There are clusters of galaxies, but that's as far as it goes, not superclusters. So conventional theorists say that not only do clusters of galaxies exist, but also superclusters. Not so with the reciprocal system of theory. Either a cluster of galaxies is moving away from all other clusters of galaxies, or it's not. If it's not, then the size of the determined cluster of galaxies must be increased. The local group is our cluster of galaxies. There is no supercluster of which the Milky Way is a part. And you can see my paper, Calculation of the Gravitational Limits and the Hubble Constant for the Local Group, which is in my work, Existence and Interactions, a computational treatise of the reciprocal system, the true theory of everything. So speaking of that work. Let's look at the astronomy database here. Well, the screencast is not going to show the whole thing, but this is the record for the local group in the macrocosmos database. And as you can see here, the mass of the cluster determines the first and second gravitational limits. The first gravitational limit is inside which there's a contraction. Gravitation is effective outside the first gravitational limit. Within the second gravitational limit, the motion is outward. And at the second gravitational limit, the cluster moves outward at the speed of light. And it's a little difficult estimating the mass of the local group. It could be 2.3 e to the 12th in terms of solar masses. It could be 1.135. So that changes the gravitational limit somewhat between 1.679 and 1.180 for the first gravitational limit. That's in megaparsecs. The second is 6,221 for the first estimate of mass, 4,371 megaparsecs for the second estimate of mass. We can go to the graphs. Let's see, let's click here. So here's the first gravitational limit. Now this is, instead of megaparsecs, this is in light years. And you can see it's going to be around right over here in terms of light years. So, 5 million roughly. So anyhow, that's just a taste. Eventually we'll get around to doing some screencasts showing exactly how the software works. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to here. So that wraps it up for today. For the simplest possible treatment of the reciprocal system, please obtain my work, The Unmysterious Universe. Very simple, nicely organized, just the concepts, relatively little math, anybody can understand it. But if you want all the mathematics, thousands of equations, 1,711 pages in the PDF, 1,711 slides for the PowerPoint file, that would be my major work, which is Existence and Interactions, a computational treatise of the reciprocal system, the true theory of everything. And as I just mentioned, I have the two database modules, one for the macrocosmos and one for the microcosmos. All are available from transpowercorp.com or from amazon.com. So study the reciprocal system and please prove it for yourself. Thanks for your attention.